So we both bought similar mice.
Oh, yeah.
I just got whatever was on sale
Yeah. I went
Yeah.
for those, like, I'm like,
10 years ago.
that works. Yeah, mine's at least 5 years old.
when I was doing my master's work.
So you and Kevin are nice and bright eyed getting over there, huh? 4:45 in the
I
New
don't know
London.
why he gets there that early, because every time I
He
walk in,
always does.
I'm in gym clothes.
Hey,
And
it's
he's
five,
in
5
the
o'clock,
coffee
guys.
line.
Incredible.
It's 5 o'clock, and this is Council Bill Psalms. I'm calling this regular meeting of the Ledyard Town Council Finance Committee to order. Present are Councilors Ryan and Ingalls, as well as Councilor Naomi Rodriguez, the mayor, Chairman Ed Lynch of the WPCA, Finance Director Matt Bonin, and Penny Newberry from the ARC, and Sarah Luffler. Are you with the ARC, Sarah, or a resident?
Sarah's Habitat.
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 Welcome. Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, and that is everyone. So I will at this time entertain citizen comments, if there are any. Would anyone like to make them? Hearing none, I'll move to the minutes. And I will ask if Councilor Ingalls would like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
Sure. I move to approve the regular meeting minutes of May 18th, 2022.
Second,
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments, corrections?
No.
They were long, they were good. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Councilor Psalms votes aye as well, and motion passes. Mr. Bonin, Finance Director's report.
Nothing really beyond what's on the agenda later on. We do have a audit planning meeting next week, so I get to experience that from the other side of the table.
Yeah,
And I'll have budget actual numbers for you in
okay,
a couple weeks.
excellent. Very good. Okay, I'm not gonna move anything on your old business. Just not ready to do anything with capital improvement plan yet, and cannabis marijuana has not come to us yet.
It will next Wednesday is
Okay.
admin,
Yep.
and we will move it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be ready.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. So moving on to new business. Tim, would you like to make the first motion?
sure. I move to grant a bid waiver to Groton Utilities for a 3-year water sewer customer service and billing services contract due to the lack of receiving 3 bids and responses to bid number 2022-TAC12 in accordance with ordinance number 200-TAC001 Rev 1 and ordinance for purchasing.
In addition,
In addition, authorize the mayor to sign a water sewer customer service and billing services contract between Groton Utilities and the town of Ledyard for the Ledyard WPCA effective July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2025. The contract will be $398,090 for the first year with a 3% increase per year for the second and third years.
second.
Thank you. So finally, after many years, we have 2 contracts that are going to co-terminate together, the billing services as well as water operations. I believe we had 1 more year left that was a water operations.
Oh, no,
Or
actually,
billing.
the billing
It was
services.
billing.
Yeah.
But we're not going to take that final
Right.
option year. Instead, we put out an RFP, or the WPCA put out an RFP. And the prices came back. There were no other bidders, thus the request for a bid waiver. The increases for years 2 and 3 are 3%, and Chairman Lynch calculated that there's actually a 2.7% decrease from the last year of the two contracts to the first year of the new combined contract. And there are new services being delivered at the same time with the new
Yeah.
contract, which is good news for Ledyard. And Edward, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I went and looked at, there's probably an additional 10 services that they added to the original contract. So I like the idea that we're 2.7%. I think it's because we're gaining from the combined.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit attractive pricing. Although as I have been contacted with a query from Groton Utilities that would you like to sell the water system to them to run? And I said, you need to talk to the mayor, and the town council,
Been discussed
and
before.
go through,
Yeah.
a process. You'll have to go through a process.
Yeah.
So that was my feedback to them. And I did warn them. I said, well, there's two things. One is the town has invested quite a bit of money in this thing.
Right.
And we are
Number
currently
two-
too.
Yeah, we're still
Number two,
paying.
we're
they're
still
very
paying for it.
sensitive to the customers in the town of Ledger. There's a, a feeling that they want to service the town, and,
Yeah.
and that's another thing that they have to consider. Anyway, that was my
Okay.
cautionary tale. with them.
Do you know who would be striking up that conversation? Is it Ray Valentini or somebody else?
No, it would be somebody else
Okay.
in Groton Utilities.
Alright.
Now, I am going to an opening of their new water treatment facility. I believe it's next Friday. I can't remember, Thursday or Friday, in which they're going to be show and tell of their new manganese removal. Their $100 million advanced water treatment. So as an engineer, of course, I'll be more tuned to that than the politics of selling and buying
Right.
water systems.
Yep. Good old manganese.
Yeah, manganese is an interesting
It's
element.
common in our water.
Yeah,
That and iron.
better than that than our.
So there are there are two option years to this contract after the first 3 years. And the WPCA talked about the fact that they don't have an actual price for those option years. And the offer on the table is to negotiate those prices when we get there. So we decided that we would ask the council to approve the 3 years.
Yeah.
And then when they get there, the WPCA can come back to the council for option years 4 and 5, once they've negotiated and know what the rates are. We
Okay.
didn't think it would be right to
Yep.
ask the council to approve it,
Mhm.
without knowing what the cost would be. So,
Yep. So just
Our game
negotiate
plan is
early.
not to ask for any more any rate increases for the next several years.
Yeah.
I hope we can do it. I'm speculating.
Hmm.
Well, you don't ask for them unless you get a rate increase from
Right,
Groton.
right,
right,
So
Right,
you haven't had rate increases.
yeah, you shouldn't.
Oh, I've got to turn the video on the owl.
Uh-oh.
You see it now, Roxanne? No, I don't see it
There
either.
you go, powder my nose now.
That's the mute button for the back.
So I thought-
Yeah.
If you just touch it, you see the little camera show up near the bottom of the screen, and then you can just.
Oh,
use
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
microphone.
Yeah.
It's the same number. I thought these were updated numbers.
Okay, there it goes. Now I can see people in the room.
Sorry, totally
Hi,
missed
guys.
that.
It's in the agenda.
Hi, Roxanne.
I feel like it's our magic mirror. Okay.
Okay, anything more on this? You guys ready to vote? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Counselor Sons votes aye, and the motion passes. Next item, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ed. Where are we? Item 3,
Number
item 2.
Two.
I move that we recommend the council transfer tax accounts in the amount of $53,647.25 listed in the report dated May 26, 2022 to the suspense file. In addition, authorize the transfer of non-refundable overpayments in the amount of $525.79 to the general fund listed in the report dated May 26, 2022.
Second.
Thank you. So this is something we do every year. We are not saying that we're not going to try and collect these amounts. They're just moving off the books. They're no longer an asset. Am I correct?
Correct.
Moving them off the books, but we still pursue collecting them. They're for
This is
people
an
who,
accounting formality.
it's an accounting
Right.
routine. Yeah.
Now goes the collection.
It's for people who've moved out of town that we can't find, people who died,
Deceased.
people who, for a number of reasons, can't or didn't pay, and we haven't been successful in collecting.
Yeah, there's business entities on there that don't exist anymore,
Correct.
so.
One large one.
Yep.
To the tune of several $1,000s, but compared to the total tax revenue that we collect, tax revenue collection is absolutely outstanding. It's more than, it's actually, this year was 100.
I think it's over 100.
3%.
It's over 100, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Just over 100.
Yeah, the end of April, so.
Yeah,
And the $525 is the reverse of that. It's
Yeah.
money that we can't give back for whatever reasons, can't find the people or
Yeah.
other reasons.
or it's under $5, I think. If
Yeah.
it's under $5, we're not gonna refund it.
Oh, so that just accumulates. And
Yeah.
So questions, comments? Ready to vote? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I
Counselor Solomon votes aye. Motion passes. And next item, please, Tim. Number 3.
move to approve standing bid waivers as follows. Vendors included in the town of Ledyard standing bid waiver list for FY 2023. Capital Region Purchasing Council bids, State of Connecticut bids, other states bids, and federal government bids.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's made and seconded. Several years ago, quite a few now, we went through the standing bid waiver list. It was actually several pages. It's now down to 1 page.
Mhm.
I went through it. We always look for, who can we take off of here?
Right.
Because we like to have competitive bids. The only one that we've talked about recently was the tax collection software company, Gemini, which we voted to approve for 3 years. We just have to remember that in 3 years, we should probably put that out to bid just to see if they can sharpen their pencil.
So do we have, that's not on, like that tenure is not on the list, right? So they're,
No,
once
no,
they're
it's
on the
not,
list, they're on the list.
until
though.
we take them off.
Right.
Yeah.
they
Right,
can-
so
they
what's,
can
what's
drop
the,
off.
I'm sorry,
They can drop off the list.
right,
Yeah.
but unless somebody does something, they're on
Us.
the list.
Correct.
Plus,
Right.
yeah,
So my point
yeah.
is that what is the tickler that tells us we need to go back and look?
Oh, so once a
Mhm.
year, we look at the list and this committee and the town council can say, all right, this one should come off.
No, right,
for
I get
whatever
that,
reason.
but
He's
you
saying, like, are we
get,
Yeah, I know what
trusting
you're
you're not
saying.
here anymore, I'm not here
3
anymore.
years, 2
and
years, there is no tickler.
He's going off to do Hartford.
Put a
You can't leave.
put a reminder in your phone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's my
Yeah.
point is
Yeah.
that what,
Right.
assuming that none of the people that were at the table when that decision was made are at the table
Right,
currently,
good question.
how do we, what is the documentation that says you need to revisit this? There is none. is what-
There's tribal knowledge, that's it. So every year we look at this and we say, okay, 2 years, okay, 1 year, okay, next year we gotta do, and it's
Is that-
tribal memory.
So that's
Oh,
not motion.
And also the finance director, Mr. Bonin, he sends that out to all the department heads prior to presenting it to you folks at finance. So, some departments might say, we don't use this person anymore, and so they would come off. Or they might add somebody that is new. So when the list comes to you, it's already been reviewed by department heads, by the finance director, and by the mayor.
To Tim's point,
And some
we, the
people
council, have
added-
no mechanism that
Right.
reminds us each year, other than Roxanne,
Yeah,
who brings these things up because she has a file, that she has a tickler. But if everybody on this conference call were not here, there is no mechanism to tell the new group, hey, you gotta do this.
so I don't want this to be construed as me holding up a vote or anything. I'm fine with this. I just think that perhaps maybe a process improvement to it, maybe adding some data in there that says,
yeah.
expiration or revisit in year and have the fiscal year that you revisit it
I would be
for.
totally in favor of that, and that's a good suggestion.
Yeah,
If
we
all
could
we had
s-
is a
yeah.
comment expires
Not-
in,
Doesn't need to
What
be
year?
taken care
Yeah.
of right here, just,
right,
Right, we can certainly
Going
add a
forward,
column to
yeah.
that. I added the column this year that just shows the ones that
Right.
were on there last year.
Right.
There's one that dropped off and there is 2 new ones on here, Bulldog Fire apparatus.
Bulldog and the
Yeah.
firehouse
Which-
software.
They've been using anyway,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
the firehouse is going away, right?
No, they're going cloud-based.
Well, they
Yeah,
got purchased,
right.
that's it.
Yeah, so they're going
Yeah.
strictly to the
Right.
cloud now, so they're not doing actual software package.
So I thought the police cars, the way they wrote that, they really do put bids out. They
Yeah,
mentioned
so,
Putnam,
yeah.
Whaling City, the state
Right,
bid list. So,
because we can get them cheaper. We found that we're getting them cheaper. There's a company in Middletown called MHQ.
Yep.
They provide you the car fully outfitted,
yeah,
but that car fully outfitted through them might be like 60.
yeah,
But we're finding that we can get the car and then have a local vendor fully outfit it for like 51.
okay,
So we've just been doing that. And then the nice part about that is it's a Ford Explorer. It's so homogeneous. We
Yeah,
can go to any
yeah.
Ford dealer in the area and say, give us a price for this vehicle.
So my point is, why do they need to be on the list? Because we're going out for bids, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically, that's exactly what they're doing. They were getting quotes before, but they
Yeah.
should be just soliciting bids because
Yeah,
Explorers, I mean, we have probably 5 Ford dealerships in a 20-25 mile radius.
Yeah.
We've purchased as far up as Putnam before.
Yep.
So, and Crowley Ford was the state bid contract, but we found that we did better going outside the state bid contract than, like Putnam Ford instead of Crowley.
seems like that's more often the rule,
Yep,
that we can do better on our own. We bought a truck for WPCA several years ago,
exactly.
cheaper going out, doing our own bidding.
Got
So
Jim
that's my
Mann's truck
point.
that way too.
They are bidding it out.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, so we're getting a better deal.
okay.
Just for my edification, and I haven't read the ordinance, so I'll put that out there.
Okay.
But with the agenda item information that's in front of me, the standing bid waiver list only comes into play under 15, that between $5 and $14,999, right?
I think it's
Over 50.
7,515. We have to get 3 sealed bids.
So,
That's right.
yeah, so RFP is one thing, and then you've got to get 3 written quotes
Yeah,
Right,
between 5 and 15.
right. And that's where the bid waiver cut list comes in, is we can say, well, between these amounts, we don't need to get the
Yeah.
3 bids because we have this person on the standing waiver list. But for over 15, we still need to go out, and we still may not get 3,
Yeah.
but then we treat it like we just did the
Correct.
Groton
Like
Utilities.
Groton Utilities
Right.
is an example of that.
Right.
yeah.
So the bid waiver, my point, the bid waiver list really only comes into play
If
if you don't
three.
want to go out and get the 3 bids.
Correct.
Between 5 and 15.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Okay, ready to vote?
Mhm. Yes.
Yes, okay.
Oh.
All in favor, please say aye.
Oh,
She was saying yes, ready to vote.
Sorry, yes.
Counselor Ingalls, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Ryan, how do you vote? Counselor Solomon votes aye. Okay, we're gonna do item 5 next.
Okay.
Because they're just out of order. So, Andrea, would you do item 5?
Sure. I move to approve the following proposed projects to be eligible for Neighborhood Assistance Act, NAA tax credits. 1, Arc of New London County to replace windows at the group residence located at 1671 Center Groton Road, Ledyard, estimated cost $30,872. 2, Habitat for Humanity project for the full rehabilitation of a single-family split-level home at 42 Laurel Leaf Drive in Gales Ferry.
Second,
Thank you. So 2 admirable projects. ARC has served the community for years with the group residents down on Center Groton Road. They also, it's notable that they produce a tremendous amount of produce in the summertime. And Habitat has done some fantastic projects for people in the town. I worked on one of them. I just had a blast. It was so much fun. 2 great organizations. The Neighborhood Assistance Act provides funding to them, and I think there's a kind of a public-private
Yeah,
deal here.
exactly. Yeah, it's a tax credit based
Mhm.
Yeah,
program.
From the
And-
state.
Yeah, well, from private business enterprise.
yeah,
So they gain the tax deductibility through those projects. And really, there's no grant involved from the town side. For us, we basically have to do a legal notice in the paper and approve it through council action.
Mhm.
There's no resolution involved, but it's just,
Mhm.
there's a small expense to put it in the newspaper, as there always is, and then move it along. And then local nonprofits have an opportunity to apply for this. So, Dow Chemical might have a need for tax credits or something like that, and they can provide these types of services and obtain the tax credits.
excellent. Penny, would you like to add anything? Penny Newbury?
No, thank you for inviting us tonight. We are now the ARC Eastern Connecticut. The ARC New London County merged with ARC Quinebaug Valley in 2019. So just for purposes of you guys knowing where the ARC Eastern Connecticut. The house is home to 6 women. The windows are awful. They have never been replaced. There's one that's not going to be replaced because it had been before, but this will really help with both heating and cooling costs, but also with some illnesses that can spread in the winter due to the draftiness of the windows for the women who are living there. And like it was said before, it's kind of hard to find C corporations that are going to fund this project, but we have hope. And sometimes we do these projects year after year and do a little at a time. So we're hoping that when you, the municipality, will approve this, that we will be able to complete this project, if not this year, then in the years to come. So thanks a bunch for that. And if you guys have any questions for us, I'd be happy to answer them.
We thank you for the work you do. So, Sarah, would you like to add anything?
No, thank you. I appreciate you having you inviting us tonight. This project, we're always looking for properties and homes where a family can thrive for 30 or more years. This was a donation, which we happily accepted over 4 years ago. It needs a lot of work, unfortunately, which we found, pretty recently, a little bit more than we thought. So any assistance in helping us rehab this home, it's in a fine neighborhood, an established neighborhood. It'll make a wonderful family home in a great school district, and the end result will be amazing. We just need to get there. So I appreciate your consideration.
Great work that you guys do. We appreciate it. So, questions?
Yeah, so first, Habitat for Humanity and the ARPA is an amazing regional organization. New London proper, we work with them quite a bit, but I guess I'm just unfamiliar with what our role is in this. I mean, we're not approving any money or anything like that. So what is this?
We're running an ad in the newspaper.
Yeah, we're required by the state to approve the Neighborhood Assistance Act on an annual basis if we choose, which then opens the door for at least the 2 organizations in front of us to apply. We have nothing to do with it. We don't deal with the accounting of the funds or any of that. We just kind of say,
We're essentially a checkbox to affirm that this is a legitimate organization and a legitimate project in our community.
All right.
And the home, if I recall, is the one that was a distressed home for many years in need of septic. Was that the same address?
are you talking about the Habitat House?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Down on Laurel Leaf?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't remember
I knew
the
one of the
address.
prior owners, the Haydoos, that was way back.
Okay.
I don't know who was there most recently.
But seeing that go back on the tax rolls with a thriving family.
Yeah.
Will be great for the
Yeah.
neighborhood. too.
Absolutely.
So,
Mhm.
it's good work.
What's the fire department's role in this?
I'm not aware that there is.
Oh, it says in accordance with the CGS, a public hearing is required for the Gales Ferry Fire Company to be eligible to participate in the NAA program.
Oh, that's probably because I copied and pasted it. I'll have to fix that.
Oh,
The
yeah,
last
Gales
project-
Fire Company did one years ago.
Oh, okay.
They
All
actually did the
right.
neighborhood assistance.
So I
Act.
actually read the agenda item.
Oh, the
so,
parking lot.
you know,
Yeah, yeah. that you were
Yeah.
Talking about earlier.
Yes,
Okay.
So that's
Exactly.
just an error.
Yeah,
That shouldn't. be
typo.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the connection was. I was looking at the public hearing agenda item, I'm like trying to connect it to.
Yeah.
We can't get
Yeah.
anything right, Tim.
So that we can do it the same way for procedure purposes.
Okay.
That was a nice try.
Who?
I'm just kidding. No, us. I'm kidding. Okay, all in favor? Please say aye.
Aye.
Counselor Psalms votes aye. The motion passes. And now, Tim, item number 4, please.
All right. I move to set a hybrid in-person and video conference public hearing date for June 22nd, 2022
2022.
at 6:30 PM to be held in the council chambers, 741 Colonel Ledyard Highway, to receive comments and recommendations regarding the following proposed projects to be eligible for the Neighborhood Assistance Act tax credits. 1, ARC of New London County to replace windows at the group residence located at 1671 Center Groton Road, Ledyard, estimated cost $30,872. And 2, Habitat for Humanity project for the full rehabilitation of a single-family split-level home at 42 Laurel Leaf Drive in Gales Ferry.
Second.
And I think we need a friendly amendment to say ARC of Eastern Connecticut.
Right,
Did we do
yes,
Yeah.
5,
I'll
did we?
fix that name.
We didn't do that on
We
5.
did not do that on 5.
No, we need to do it on 5 too. Okay, other than that, comments, questions? We're just setting the public hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Counselor Solomon votes aye, and the motion passes.
and thank you for all you do.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
All right, next item, please. Andra.
I make a motion to set a 33.82 mill rate for the fiscal year 2022-2023.
Second,
Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded. We've had multiple meetings finalizing with a public hearing, April 26th, a town meeting, May 16th, a vote on May 17th at referendum. We set the mill rate at the end of the year because final revenue figures sometimes come in very late, sometimes they don't come in. So we set the mill rate once we are as positive as we can of the mill rate that would be calculated based on the estimated revenue that the town will be getting. So we have to do that before July 1st, actually before June 30th, or on June 30th. So here we are.
Gotta get the tax bills out.
That's right.
so the revenue predictions have not changed,
They have
have not increased, enabling us to lower the mill rate even further.
not.
Okay, so,
Yeah, we are expecting to receive a late arrival, was MRSA, the municipal revenue sharing account state, but that only happens after they collect the tax receipts and determine how much they have. So it's not something we can get our arms around.
is it somewhat consistent with what that is every year?
No, because the last time we got it was 2017,
So that's a no.
FY17.
Okay.
So it's been,
That's why I'm not familiar with it.
yeah, we received it in FY17 and never again, but this year they think we're going to receive it.
Okay.
But again, they don't know how much, so we can't budget for it
Right,
because we don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know what changed to get us to the 200ths of a mil more. I thought we were at 33.8.
Maybe I got it wrong.
No, it
I
was
thought that's what,
0.1 increase.
You know, I like those round numbers. That's why I was thrown off by this.
It was 3372, and then as long
Yeah,
ago
we-
as April, it was
You wanted
3382.
yeah, I got that right here.
Yes, we wanted it to be nice and clean, but that's all right.
We can make it
so
one.
what is,
Well, it's gonna stick, but
Yeah,
Are you saying you wanted it to be,
well, I had wanted it to be 33.80
oh,
because I always like to work on round numbers, but that's just me. So don't worry about it.
well, then how did 33.72 get approved?
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, I know.
He was upset last year too.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't happy with that. We tried to pair off those 200ths of a mil and we just couldn't do it.
But on the bright side, we had over $200,000 in unexpected costs that this committee and the council and the mayor and the finance director worked very hard
Yeah,
to hold at the 33.82. Because
Very
that would
true.
that would
Yes,
have gone
yeah.
from 0.1 mil increase
oh, yeah,
to 0.27 mil. So
yeah. The healthcare snafu was a big one and
Yeah.
that would have driven this much
Yep.
further than it was.
So, refresh me on the accounting practices here.
Sure.
So we get MRSA,
Yeah,
right? MRSA comes through.
Mhm.
So we now have more revenue than we need, but the tax rate is set. So we're going to take in ostensibly, assuming everybody pays their taxes,
yep,
we take in more revenue than we need.
Right.
Right. So that comes into the general fund,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And we now have more in the general fund than we need for the expenditures. Does the excess go to our mill rate stabilization fund? Does it go to,
No, it does not.
where does it go?
Stays
It
in the
stays
general
in the
fund.
general fund,
which
goes into undesignated.
And then Because we have to end the year even, right?
Kind of sits there to help build our rainy day
Right.
fund, which is,
So it goes into the rainy day. fund.
yeah.
So
which is
my
exceedingly
point
low.
there is that even if we take in more money, assuming, and I say that hesitating because we've had many conversations about the speculation on fuel prices and stuff,
Mhm.
costs. So assuming that this rate holds and we do take in more money, at least that fund is gonna, that funding is gonna be available to use for other expenses moving forward.
Could be. So if that happened, then we would have a legislative file that would say, we're way over budget on fuel, for example.
Right.
And here's a motion to take the difference from the undesignated fund, which is the
Yeah.
rainy day fund.
I was just saying, if we end up, let's say,
Yeah,
all our predictions end up right,
yeah,
but then the state comes through with MRSA funds,
Right.
and we end up with more general fund revenue. That goes to the undesignated fund
Yeah,
eventually, but that money can be used to offset expenses, other expenses that we might have in the next fiscal year.
correct.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if
Okay.
we
Yeah.
don't have those expenses, we don't have enough money in the undesignated fund as a percentage of total revenue.
Yep.
Tax revenue.
Yeah.
To the bond rating agencies want to see 10%. We're around what? 5?
Five.
Yeah, just
Just
over five.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
We
we
got
had,
up.
we had set a policy to
Yes, we
try
did.
to get it to 10 or
Yes, we did.
15, I think,
Yes.
over 15 years.
They want to see
Yeah.
10% of your budget in,
Your tax,
Tax
your tax
levy,
receipt, so your
yeah.
tax revenue,
Yep.
10% of your tax revenue, they want to see in that rainy day fund.
okay,
So that
and
if
we're only
you're-
at 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've always been historically low, which is kind of in our saving grace with the bond rating agencies. Because we've been consistent. We've been low, but we've been consistent. So we haven't been like this, like,
Yeah.
oh, we're up at 10 and now we're down to 6. We've
Yeah.
always been very close along there within that 1%.
Didn't the recommendation change just a
Yes.
handful of years
Yeah.
ago? It went up.
They
It was
were
at like
pushing
7 or
for-
8.
Well, it was 7 or 8, then it was 10. I think they're pushing for 15.
Yeah,
aren't
Right,
they're
and
pushing
that
for
just-
15% now, which
Right.
is a lot. of
There is a
holdback.
lot of holdback. I don't-
Depends on who you
Yeah.
talk to too.
Yeah,
Another way, when you're talking about that 300,000, we also budgeted to take $1 million out of the mill rate stabilization fund this year.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, right.
if, come the end of the year and you're looking at, you have a surplus.
Right.
You don't have to take that $4 million out of that.
Right.
Oh,
stabilization
okay,
fund
good.
either.
All right.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
leave-
So we only
Good
take from
point.
that as we need. It's not, yeah, okay.
yeah.
All right, well, that's good too.
Yeah.
All right. How does that fund get replenished again? The mill rate stabilization fund?
Bond premiums when we go out to,
Oh,
To borrow
oh,
money.
okay,
Yeah.
right, all right. Okay,
So they pay us to borrow their money.
right, right.
It's an interesting
It's
situation.
quite the concept.
It is.
Takes a lot of hearing it to say,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know how excited I am to borrow more because the rates are gonna start spiking, but.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When they were low, it was good because we'd get a decent premium and we'd have a, 2.75 on a note, which is great.
Yeah.
That's probably not gonna hold for long.
no.
Yeah, my only point with saying that on the record here is that even if we do take in more than what we need, it is going to benefit the town.
Correct.
One way or another.
Correct.
Benefit the taxpayer, one way or another in terms of
Mhm.
going forward.
Yeah, it doesn't disappear.
Yeah,
It doesn't get spent somewhere.
Either,
It-
yeah, so, well, no, I get that, but either it's less we take from the mill rate stabilization fund, which means more available potentially to help temper anything next year.
Yeah.
Right.
But it also could be used to help offset other expenses
Correct.
that we might incur. So, okay.
Okay, ready to vote? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Counselor Solomon votes aye, the motion passes. And I think that was our last item.
Record time.
Yeah.
Well, there's one more motion.
Would someone like to make the
How
motion?
about Andre?
Make a motion to adjourn. I
Is
never
there a
make that
second?
motion.
Second.
We're adjourned without exception at 5:33 PM. Thanks very much.
Declare my meeting's adjourned. Are we really supposed to make them like